And Kendrick Nunn, who's become the darling of this knowledgeable Athenian crowd. Shots of MVP. Well, he had 25.
The chants of MVP echo through the arena as Kendrick Nunn celebrates with the fans. With Slukas and Brown unavailable, the Greens needed someone to step up, and Nunn delivered another masterclass. 25 points on incredible efficiency, making Partizan's defense look helpless despite everything Obradovic threw at him. But this wasn't just about Nunn. From Grant's Ironman performance to Osman's energy, from Juancho's versatility to Yurtseven's strong presence inside, this is the story of how Pau adapted and overcame. Let's break down exactly how they did it. Love EuroLeague basketball? Get your annual pass with 30% off using my affiliate link and promo code Baskethead30. Watch every game live, catch replays on demand, enjoy special episodes, and discover tons of exclusive content. Kendrick Nunn put on another scoring clinic against Partizan. 25 points on incredible efficiency, 75% from 2, 50% from 3, and perfect from the free throw line. Obradovic tried every defense possible against Nunn, but nothing worked. When Partizan switched, Nunn picked them apart in isolation. When they went under screens and hedged, he found ways to score. When they tried to trap him, that didn't work either. It didn't matter if they put 1, 2, or 3 defenders on him. Nunn had an answer every time. And just like we saw in our last video, his catch-and-shoot threes were deadly again. When you combine this shooting touch with his ability to read and beat any defense, you see why he's become impossible to stop.
Kendrick Nunn got away with a push. Now finds space. Got it. Such a soft touch. Gideon Isaiah Mike. Nunn. Kendrick Nunn, I'm not sure.
Despite being EuroLeague's leading scorer, it's Nunn's ability to read defenses that will eventually set him apart. This skill has improved dramatically this season, as teams keep throwing new defensive schemes at him every game. Let's break it down. Watch him here against the blitz. He immediately offloads to Gabriel on the short roll, creating the condition for what could have been a spot-up 3. Instead, Gabriel takes it all the way for the dunk. Again here, Partizan's defense has a miscommunication. Davies flies out aggressively, but Nunn reads it instantly, finding Juancho, who then feeds Yurtseven for the easy basket. Watch how easily he finds Yurtseven under the basket. On the first clip, it's an instant feed to the low post while Davies is counting 3 seconds with the referee. On the second one, he anticipates the trap and delivers a laser pass to Yurtseven for the easy dunk. And in the third one, he reads the trap again, finds the big man, which leads to an open shot for Juancho. Actually, he handled the traps really well throughout the game. Out of all the times Partizan trapped him, he only turned it over once, and just had one more by making a bad pass to Yurtseven on a pick and roll. Overall though, we should keep in mind that even if Nunn didn't make turnovers off the traps, the ball got out of his hands, which is also the main objective of a trap unless you're targeting a poor ball handler. While Obradovic's plan did manage to drop Nunn's usage rate from his season average of nearly 30% down to 24%, Nunn still put up 25 points and dished out 4 assists. So while they reduced his usage, they couldn't contain his impact. With Slucas and Brown unavailable, Jerry and Grant stepped up with veteran leadership, playing 37 exhausting minutes. His stat line shows incredible efficiency. Perfect from two-point range, making all 5 attempts. Perfect from the free throw line, making all 4 attempts, while dishing out 8 assists with just 1 turnover. Looking deeper at the numbers, his impact was remarkable. He created 35 total points, 14 from scoring and 21 through assists, while using less than 10% of possessions. His true shooting percentage? An incredible 103.6%. His playmaking was elite, with nearly 30% assist rate, all while maintaining his trademark defensive intensity. What's particularly impressive is how he managed such efficiency while carrying such heavy minutes in a high-stakes game. Here's a telling moment from the game. Around the middle of the second quarter, after playing 14 straight minutes without rest, Grant was visibly exhausted. After several back-and-forth transitions, he had no energy left. You can even see Osman shouting at him to get to the corner to create spacing, but Grant barely had any stamina left. We're talking about a player who never cheats on either end of the court, a true beast. Grant started the game aggressively attacking the rim. Watch him here exploiting Partizan's defensive breakdown. There's a miscommunication between Carlik Jones, who plays weak forcing Grant left, and Tyreek Jones, who follows Yurtseven after he changes the angle of the screen. This confusion opens up the lane for Grant's easy layup.
Grant rocks the cradle and finishes it. Second time that Jerry and Grant's been able to get to the window.
Watch him attacking the rim aggressively against Brandon Davies' switch. Then against drop coverage, see how he uses the hostage dribble against Carlik Jones to create space for the mid-range. He keeps executing, whether it's off the empty corner pick and roll or with his classic fadeaway.
Grant wants some isolation against Lundberg. Grant!
He also shined at feeding his teammates. Watch how he finds Yurtseven under the basket. Speaking of Yurtseven, he's put together another solid performance when given minutes, putting up 17 points on efficient shooting, 8 of 12 from two-point range, while grabbing 8 rebounds in just under 30 minutes of play. His plus 24.9 net rating shows his positive impact on both ends. Even though Nunn and Grant carried the scoring load with Slucas and Brown unavailable, other players needed to step up, and Osman definitely answered the call. Whether it was fighting for offensive rebounds, out-muscling opponents, or knocking down threes, he brought the energy Pau needed. His stat line backs this up. 18 points on efficient shooting, 50% from both 2- and 3-point range, 3 rebounds, and a plus 15.7 net rating in 27 minutes of play. Just what the Greens needed in the absence of their key guards. This creates an interesting challenge for Osman. He'll have some tough decisions to make when Slucas and Brown return, especially if Grigonis comes back soon too. Managing these rotations will be a delicate balancing act. In case you're wondering where I get these advanced stats, I use 3stepsbasket.com Pro. It's a fantastic tool for basketball analysis.
Oh, great give. Jones has to finish that. And look at this, an easy layup for Panathinaikos. Tyreek Jones has to finish that.
Watch Osman's offensive versatility here. Attacking closeouts, driving aggressively to the rim, beating the trap to create an open 3 for Nunn, and showing off his step-back game. His complete offensive arsenal was on display.
Trying to break down Ntilikina, who's got 3 fouls. That shot's no good. Again, Yurtseven keeps it alive. Osman scores. Now Yurtseven, Lundberg guarding the ball. Osman trying to shake free. Osman just bullies his way. Can't get the floater to go. He'll find Kendrick Nunn. Bingo! Will Panathinaikos try to manufacture this? The trap up the floor from Partizan. Kendrick Nunn, they're not. They're going to take whatever open look they can get. Grant in the corner. He's going to try and break down Pukashevsky. Osman, step back three, got it. That horn should signal the departure of Lundberg, who's picked up his third.
The Greens had some struggles in transition defense, allowing 19 fast break points, almost a quarter of Partizan's total scoring. However, their half-court defense was solid, allowing 3 points per 100 possessions, less than their average home defensive rating. What's particularly interesting is they managed this with Yurtseven playing 30 minutes, during which their defensive rating improved to 96.6 points per 100 possessions. This wasn't magic, nor did Yurtseven suddenly become an elite defender. Rather, their hedge-out coverage proved highly effective against Partizan's offense, supported by excellent defensive rotations from Osman, Grant, and Juancho, who were constantly helping and covering. Watch this defensive sequence carefully. Osman acts as the low tagger, while Grant has to step back to position himself between two open players. This exposes a key vulnerability of hedge or show coverages, especially when you have big men with slower feet. When the roll man receives the ball, you end up with a defender on the weak side, Grant in this case, trying to guard two players simultaneously. Worth noting that the Greens dominated the rebounding battle, securing nearly 70% of defensive rebounds and 45% of offensive rebounds. Yurtseven, Juancho, and Grant led this effort, combining for 23 rebounds, Yurtseven and Juancho with 8 each, while Grant added 7. Speaking of Juancho, he put in another great performance, but we'll break down his entire season in a dedicated video. Another tactical wrinkle worth noting, Ataman experimented with a triple switch defense when Gabriel was on the floor, which had mixed results. Speaking of Gabriel, Ataman seemed unhappy with his performance, limiting him to just 8 minutes, similar to his treatment of Mitoglu, with whom he also appeared to have some issues. Let's bring the spotlight to some interesting actions from this game. Some that worked perfectly, others that didn't quite hit the mark. Let's start with the Horns 4 set, a new addition to Pau's playbook that we first saw against Olympiacos this season. In this action, Juancho operates as the ball handler, with a guard at one elbow and the big man at the other. Juancho makes the elbow pass to the big man, then cuts off a back screen from the guard at the other elbow, receiving the ball under the basket. It's basically a Horns chin action, but with the unique twist of being run by the 4-man instead of the point guard.
This past summer, Wenyan Gabriel, teammate of Carleek Jones, gets his first touch. Nice pass, and Hernan Gomez.
Juancho tried to run this Horns 4 set again, but the execution was off from the start. You can see Osman and Mitoglu are positioned at the wrong elbows, not where they should be for this action. Watch how Osman is actually signaling Juancho to pass to Mitoglu. but Juancho needed to cut off the right elbow. It looks like Mitoglu was confused here, positioning himself to run horns 2 instead of horns 4. Davies ends up with the steal, but the play was already compromised by this miscommunication. This is the horns 2 action. We've got a pitch back on the strong side and a weak side pin down for Osman. Last season, Pau ran this almost exclusively for Grigonis. If you haven't seen my full breakdown of Ataman's playbook, check out the card in the top right corner. I really like how they execute the change of angle against hedge-out defense. Watch how the screen setter adjusts his angle, making it really difficult for the opposing big man to execute his hedge-out coverage, as you can see here. That wraps up our breakdown of this Panathinaikos win over Partizan. From Nunn's scoring clinic to Grant's Ironman performance, from Osman's energy to the tactical adjustments, we saw how the Greens managed to get the win, even without Slukas and Brown. As Ataman faces some interesting rotation decisions ahead with players coming back, it will be fascinating to see how this team continues to evolve. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more EuroLeague breakdowns. Drop a comment below with your thoughts on Pau's performance or what aspects of the game you'd like to see analyzed next. Until next time, this is Baskethead, breaking down the game we love.